From a maintenance perspective, I've removed the stainless steel tunnel guard from here, and I've also removed the side cover guard as well. What you will find as you're using the machine, that you will get grass clippings build up within the cartridge. It's really important to make sure that they're cleaned out after every use. Either use compressed air with a blower, or if you're going to use water, use it just straight from a hose pipe. Don't use a pressure washer, and don't use the water around the bearing areas. So make sure that the throw plate is cleaned out, because what will happen, you'll get debris build up over time, and if you leave that and don't clean that out, that'll go hard in the shed. And then what you'll do is bring that back out again, cut on the pitch, more wet material will then stick to the hard material, and then that will impede the throw of the grass into the grass box and eventually impede the quality of cut on the machine as well. So make sure that that's rinsed out, cleaned out after every use. Apply WD-40 to the blades just to stop any corrosion during storage. We have a total of 8 grease nipples on the machine, so we have 2 on the cartridge, 1 on the left and right hand side. We then have another 1 here, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have another 2 bearings on the rear roller as well. From a greasing perspective, if this machine's used 8 hours a day, we'd recommend greasing once a week, just to give you an idea from greasing intervals. Cables need to be oiled on a regular basis, and what we'd recommend is that the operators will put a wall planner up on the wall so that they know when the machine's actually been greased and maintained. Because on this machine we don't use any gearboxes or any clutches or centrifugal clutches, it's purely belt drive. So if you can imagine, we have pulley at the top, pulley at the bottom, and then when I bring this lever in here, all that literally does is takes the tension up on the belt and creates the drive. What we need to do, the cutting cylinder is actually already set because we have a spring arrangement here. So when I bring that and lock that in, the spring is actually tensioning that drive and tensioning the belt. So that we don't have to touch or adjust or maintain. What we do need to check is the rear bail bar lever, because as we bring this in, and what will happen as a new machine, so with new pulleys, new belts, the belts will stretch a little bit and they'll also bed into the pulleys. So when these leave the factory, when we bring this lever in here, nothing happens until we get a 30mm gap from the handlebar to the bail bar. So when we got a 30mm gap with the engine running, it should just take up the drive on a level surface. Don't set this on a football pitch, it needs to be on a hard level concrete or tarmac floor. So you want a 30mm gap so that when I bring that in, it's nice and comfortable. But as we mentioned, the belts will stretch a little bit over a period of time. So if you're finding when you come to check the machine that there's taken up the drive at 20mm instead of 30, it means that we need to adjust the cable. So if you follow the cable down from the lever, follow the cable down here, you'll find we have what we call a midway adjuster in the centre of the cable. If I undo the lock nut on that cable, one rotation of that adjuster, screwing the adjuster apart, so that's anti-clockwise as you're standing at the back of the machine here, lock the lock nut back up, that's your adjustment done. So that will then take you back to 30mm here. Don't worry, it's not something that you're going to be adjusting on a regular basis. You're probably going to adjust maybe twice a year. So it's just about keep checking fuel, clean fuel, fresh fuel, keeping your oil levels monitored. Under here we have an air filter as well, and what will happen over time is you will get grass clippings in the air filter. So again, when you're greasing, so once every week, if you're using it 8 hours a day, the filter has a sleeve, what we call a pre-filter sleeve. Take that off, give it a shake or a blowout, that just helps protect the element. Pop the sleeve back on again. We can just replace the air filter back into position. At least then we know that's been cleaned. And rule of thumb, if it's been used 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, you'd want to be doing that on a weekly basis. On the side of the machine here, we've got the belts here which drive the cutting cylinder or drive the cartridge, whatever we've got in. We've already said that they are already pre-tensioned anyway, so we don't have to worry too much about them. But what we've got a reduction drive and a final drive down to the rear roller at the side. We just need to keep that chain lubricated on a regular basis. Just general chain oil will work, and we need to maintain and just oil the duplex chain there on the main engine drive shaft. But for more information, please visit our website, www.allett.co.uk.